this unwillingness or this judgment against criticizing the country, it goes right down into the parties. I had a situation not that many months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, 6 months ago, when Representative Tom Emmer was shilling for this debt ceiling resolution, which McCarthy negotiated, and the bill passed because of Democrat votes. And I was very vocal about it in the Republican Party that this was a a setup for an unlimited funding of war, which at that time none of these wars had broken out. And now everywhere you look is war. And I knew as soon as they set that bill up that there was unlimited funding mechanism through January 1st, 2025.
Mm.
I knew that they were going to go spend $10 trillion killing people,
Hmm.
and they're working on it full speed, right? And I put out a lot of information criticizing Emmer, and there was a woman in the Republican Party here in Minnesota that sent out a letter that said that no Republican should, under any circumstance, criticize any other Republican. And I just told her, just go join the Nazi Party. We should introduce her to Nick because that's where she belongs.
Mhm.
This presumption that we, as American citizens, cannot have discourse and criticize. I mean, I'm taking criticism. I'm getting heat all the time. I'm not bothered by it. If your leaders are so weak that if you criticize them, they're going to crumble, let them crumble and let's get some new leaders.
Yeah.
And I was very put off by that. I mean, that was a real indictment of these. Of course, this was a rhino person, a neocon person in the party. And here in Minnesota, which is a model for the whole country, we have a party that is shot through and dominated. I'm talking about the hierarchies of these parties. They're entrenched neocon interests. And they've got the money, or at least our good friend Thomas the Good calls them the tallest of the midgets, if we can use the word midget. They're not really going to survive. They're not really part of the New World Order. They're not really part of the hierarchy. They just want to act like they are. They're getting some kind of psychological warmth and security by thinking they're in with the power structure. Actually, when they come around everybody up and take them to the camps, they're going to be right in there with us. So,
Yeah.
in fact, they might be the first to go.
Yes.
So, but my point is, we must criticize, as Steve did with Frum. Did a great job, and the moderator was against him. The audience was against him. So, at that time was 2018. So mm, unaccepted were those ideas generally, and so unaccepted was Trump generally at that time. Well, where are we today in 2024? Look how far this movement has come.
Yeah.
And I put into a live chat recently, it's really not about Donald Trump. It's about the ideas.
Yeah.
They don't care about Trump. That's a shill, scam. Let's hate Trump. No, it's those ideas, which he is subject to criticism. Nobody, as you said, we'd rather have an imperfect leader, right, than we need.
And a false one.
Than a false one.
Mhm.
He's definitely an imperfect leader. But I notice in him this evolution that's going on. He's an arrogant guy. He's super successful, but he's under so much pressure. And I think he's got over 90 charges on him in 4 different venues, and he's putting his life at risk. He goes every time he pops his head out. It could be the last time we see Donald Trump. This man is brave beyond most people's concept.
Mm.
His ideas are evolving, and he's developing a humility that I've seen. And I said this several years ago to you. If he would just embrace his imperfection and rely on faith, he'd be embraced by more and more Americans because Americans love a person that says they're sorry. And he already has this great constituency.
Yeah, I think in fairness to him, I think his impetus to not apologize comes from the understanding of how the media is playing a sort of gotcha game, seeking apology, and they're going to use that for headline, for clickbait, or to condemn, or to indict. In this case, to actually prosecute. Right? I mean, it is a high stakes game that Donald Trump's involved in when it comes to what he says in the media or what he says in the public, because obviously the establishment, the constabulary, is willing to prosecute him based on the things he says.
And he's driving them nuts.
and he's driving them
He
nuts,
just,
and I
you know,
love it.
and then we sit here like dummies and we take everything he says like he's serious. No, they're torturing him, and he knows exactly how to torture him back.